Hello dear friends, glad to be back. Today is 1st of November. Now it's 12 o'clock, middle of the day by Moscow time. And as you can see, I'm in Moscow right now. You can see right there behind me Moscow city, and also let me show you on the other side. That tall building is foreign ministry of Russian Federation, and well, in this walking talk video I will move in direction of foreign ministry, and then not far away from there it's Stary Arbat, or old Arbat street, and I will show you that street also. And of course, meanwhile, I will make some additional videos that you'll be able to see in this update. So when it comes to news itself, first of all, of course, short summary of the situation on Ukrainian battlefield. According to reports that I see from Russian media outlets or Russian language pages, there were no significant changes on any of the sectors of the front line. Its operational pause is kind of holding at this moment. Although this morning I did share on my Telegram page video of a movement of quite a large Russian armed group in Avdiivka direction. So I guess Donetsk sector from Marinka to Avdiivka, and also South Donetsk sector is still most active all along the front line. And well, as I said, by the way, Avdiivka is in operational encirclement, and I guess at least for next 3-4 weeks time there will be no significant changes on this direction. I guess Russian side will probably not even try to begin operations inside the city, but once Ukrainian garrison will begin feeling in Avdiivka absence of reinforcement, any supplies really, military and not, then, and it will take about 3-4 weeks, I guess. After that, Russian forces will probably begin operations inside Avdiivka, and the first stage of that operation probably will be operation in direction of chemical plant on the northern western part of Avdiivka. And when that operation will begin, we will probably have a good enough indicator that operation in Avdiivka itself has begun. When it comes to other sectors, as I said, it's operational pause, no significant changes. So if you want to learn some more details, as I usually do, I recommend military channels for this. First of all, of course, military summary. Dima, host of that channel, of course, provides us on daily basis detailed analysis of situation on the front line. Well, that's been said. I will share with you a few more news in this segment, and then I will continue from some other place. So, Russian Defense Ministry, by the way, did a report yesterday afternoon that specialists or experts of United States together with Ukrainian specialists were conducting some bio experiments in the Lvov, that's western Ukraine. And according to Russian Defense Ministry, US was planning to use viruses that are based on initially on swine flu, or bird flu. So let me check. This is very important, so I want to be 100% sure. So yes, bird flu. Seems like U.S. and Ukrainian experts were working on bird flu virus, and according to Russian Defense Ministry, main plan for them was to spread, I guess, this virus, and then blame Russia. Then blame Russia that Russia conducted some biowarfare against Ukraine. So that's for your provocation, by the way, provocation that I was talking about for many days now, that to regain attention of the Western so-called elites, Kiev regime may conduct some provocation, and this information from Russian Defense Ministry definitely confirms this, that such a provocation can take place, and the world community should be ready for this and react accordingly, because everyone will probably straight away understand that that was any provocation that will be conducted by Kiev regime and then blamed on Russia was in reality crime of Zelensky and his associates and their Western masters. So it's good that Russian Defense Ministry is sharing this information with the public, and is quite active really to inform not just Russian society but world community against crimes and that are committed by Kiev regime, and also some bio experiments that US are conducting in Ukraine. So that's a very important news. I will of course continue to monitor this development, and I will share all the additional news that will be available. Also, by the way, I want to share with you news that Russian armed forces, according to Russian Defense Ministry, did targeted areas in Odessa region where Kiev regime was building its or assembling its drones. No details about how effective that strike was, but I guess target was destroyed. And also, by the way, when it comes to drone and missile strikes, this morning there was air raid warning in Crimea. According to some Telegram channels, including military channels, several Ukrainian Su-24 frontline bombers and a few MiG-29 or Su-27 fighter jets were flying in the direction of Crimea, in the southern parts of Ukraine that is still controlled by Kiev regime, and there was an expectation that some Storm Shadow missiles will be launched in the direction of Crimea or maybe Crimean Bridge, but last time I checked, there was no such strikes. These planes probably landed somewhere in the Odessa region, possibly, or maybe Nikolaev region. And well, I guess Russian air defense systems will be ready to deal with any missile strikes that can be conducted by Kiev regime during the day, because those planes cannot stay in Zaporozhye, Nikolaev, or Odessa region for a long time, because of course Russian side will try to destroy them. Also, by the way, a few minutes ago I did saw on one of the Telegram channels videos from Crimean Bridge, and bridge was in smoke, and this was exercise, as I understand, Defense forces on the bridge and surrounding areas were conducting usual exercises, or maybe there was some warning also. And whenever there is a warning of possible strike from Kiev regime, one of the ways that bridge is protected is not just air defense systems, but also smoke is spread all along the bridge. And yet again, if any additional news about this development, of course I will share information about it on my Telegram and next updates. And dear friends, I will note, if I may, that today's update will be uploaded a little bit late because, as I said, I am in Moscow and it's only like 12 o'clock now. So this update will be uploaded probably somewhere around 3 o'clock Moscow time. Just just to let you know. And yes, this is it for now. Quite nice view, isn't it? And let me also show you surrounding areas. As you can see behind me there, it's Moscow city. This massive building right here is one of the biggest shopping malls in Moscow. Its name is Europeisky. Also, by the way, Kievsky train station there. And that way you can see building of Russian Foreign Ministry, and there is a bridge there on Moscow River, and of course I will try to make video over the bridge also, and I will add those videos to this update. So okay, I will continue in some other place. I will continue on the bridge over the Moscow River with several news, and then yet again some other place. And because of this type of format, of course, it will take longer to upload video, to record, to do some light montage, and then upload video. But hopefully majority of members of our community will find this video interesting. So many of our members did comment on walk and talk type of videos that they do like, and even prefer this type of videos. That as I promised, I will definitely try to make at least one walk and talk video on a weekly basis. And as I said, we are moving now in the direction of Russian Foreign Ministry. It's strange, by the way, but it's sunny day. So that tall building there, it's Foreign Ministry. And well, a few days ago, you may not believe, but a few days ago it was snowing days. Snow was everywhere in Moscow region. But now, because yesterday and today is kind of warmer weather, 10-15 degrees Celsius, there is nowhere snow to be seen. But anyway, let's continue with news. And next important update that I want to share with you. Let me check. So it's about statements that Ukrainian POWs did made about Western-made equipment, and in this particular instance, about Bradley, or rather Striker armored personnel carriers, and POWs, by the way, prisoners of war, did comment on it, and they said, and this is reported by RIA Novosti, and they said that even though they receive several Striker armored personnel carriers initially, 4 of them at least, 2 Strikers were damaged straight away. They had some technical issues with guns. They were able to shoot only like several rounds, and then man, it's too sunny. I forget glasses, but I did not think it would be this sunny day. So okay, let's continue. So this is I mean, Moscow River, which is quite busy, by the way. Always river boats for tourists, for locals, for transportation. Always moving up and down until late winter, when river is covered by ice. So yes, that report on RIA Novosti was quite interesting, because these POWs were saying that initially in their unit they received 4 Strikers. 2 of them were damaged straight away, and the rest of the Strikers also had some issues with some electricity or fire control, let me say this way, and all of them had very weak guns. All of them had very weak guns that were able to take only several rounds, and then these guns were jammed and had to be, I mean, they were damaged probably and had to be replaced, but who will replace them gun? No one. And with these partially working Strikers, this unit went into the offensive, local scale offensive, and both Strikers were destroyed. That's what these POWs said, and in their unit they receive additional Strikers to replace these 2 damaged ones that was damaged initially. And this unit at this point, according to these POWs, only have 1. So losses are tremendous when it comes to not just manpower but also military equipment. And one may ask question, how reliable those Western military equipment really are? That's a big question, and after this conflict will end, I'm quite sure there will be some independent journalistic investigations, and probably we will learn what kind of equipment was delivered to Kiev regime. So I can show you foreign ministry from this relatively close range. Iconic building with iconic for Russia architecture. As I said in several videos before, these type of buildings, there are 7 of them, and the local name for these buildings are 7 Sisters. And in one of them, foreign ministry is located. Other famous one from these 7 Sisters are Moscow State University's main building, and also, by the way, one of the most beautiful buildings from these 7 Sisters is current Radisson Hotel, but during the Soviet era, name of that hotel was Ukraine, and I guess many Muscovites still calling that hotel Ukraine. And dear friends, also I will share with you a few more news, and then I will continue in some other place. So yesterday, Secretary of State of US and Defense Secretary Blinken and Austin were speaking to congressmen, and they did made quite interesting statements, by the way. Many of them I did share on my Telegram page, and you probably did see it. But I will share now most important part of these statements. And well, according to Austin, according to Lloyd Austin, Defense Secretary of US, without foreign support, Ukraine will lose this conflict with Russia, and therefore, according to him, and all the warmongers basically that are standing behind him, US have to continue supply of weapons and munition. Why US have to do anything, and why US taxpayers have to pay for this, Austin did not explain, unsurprisingly. And also, by the way, same time, Head of State Department Antony Blinken did spoke about aid for Israel and aid for Ukraine, and well, he basically demanded some 68.3 billion to be allocated and approved, first of all, by Congress, and then allocated for support of Israel and Ukraine. From the 68.3 billion, 10.6 billion should go to help Israel, and 44.4 billion to support Ukraine. As I said, remember, I was saying that this is probably last big paycheck for these warmongers from Ukrainian crisis, and they will use all their influence to persuade US Congress to approve this transfer, this aid package, and I guess that's what will happen. Most likely this money will be allocated for Israel and Ukraine. And what is also interesting, if you remember, a few weeks ago, Biden's administration was talking about some more than 100 billion. They wanted to send to Israel some 14 or 15 billion and 61.3 billion for Ukraine. And it seems like they did negotiate some new deal with at least some groups in Republican Party to make sure that this little bit reduced package will go through. Although, by the way, I mean, you tell me how you can say that 44 billion for this most corrupt regime in Europe is a small sum. It's a huge amount of money on which so many good stuff could be done for US itself and US citizens. But yet again, this is probably last big paycheck for a US military-industrial complex, corrupt US officials, and they will do everything and anything to receive this check. And also, by the way, because some Republicans are not happy that Ukraine may continue to receive billions and billions of US taxpayers, from a little more closer, that's the Foreign Ministry of Russian Federation. And to make sure that US military-industrial complex and corrupt officials will receive their checks, Biden's administration did come up with a statement that if Republicans in Congress will try to separate this aid package for Israel and Ukraine, Biden will most likely will veto that bill. So there we are. They are not even hiding at this point that their main interest is to steal and launder as much money from US citizens as they possibly can. And dear friends, I will continue with some additional news from some other place. And we are now on Stary Arbat street. Quite nice street and very busy area and popular among locals and guests of the Russian capital. And dear friends, I want to show you this building here. Old building, and here in up to 1831 was living world famous Russian poet, writer, thinker, genius of his time, Pushkin, Alexander Sergeyevich Pushkin. Greatest poet, one of the greatest poets that ever lived, in my personal opinion. And well, it's always nice when memory is kept in society. And many buildings, by the way, all around Moscow and every other city in Russia has that kind of small monuments, or how you say it, that remind society that sometime in the past some poets or artists or famous people that did serve well to society did live in and worked in those places. Well, as I said, this street is very nice. I did made a recently video from here for a Patreon community, and I think many of members of our community will also find it interesting on the main channel to see this street. But let's continue with news. And I will share one additional news about Ukraine, and then, of course, next big topic, which is Middle East. But when it comes to Ukraine, Daily Beast, by the way, did come up with an article about Ukraine. Unsurprisingly, this article is also quite critical, like Times article that everyone is talking about these days. And Daily Beast, a US edition of Daily Beast, did write that according to statements of one of the Ukrainian military doctor with whom Daily Beast conducted interview, residents of Konstantinovka and surrounding villages are very hostile towards Ukrainian forces. And I guess this journalist of Daily Beast was quite surprised to hear about that, because, well, unfortunately, level of Western journalism is in such a low level at this point that those people that call themselves journalists probably would not be able to distinguish true from a lie from 100 from 100 attempts. But at least they did write about this, that residents in Konstantinovka and surrounding areas are quite hostile towards Ukrainian forces. And I know why, because they see these forces as enemy forces, as forces of criminal terrorist regime that is working for Western elites and in interests of Western elites. And as I said many times before, vast majority of residents in eastern and central and southern Ukraine, they are Russian speakers. They are just as Russian and as anyone, and they are part of Russian world, of course. And they are waiting when Russia will liberate, when Russian forces will liberate those places. And Daily Beast actually did write about it, that this military doctor of Ukrainian army said exactly the same, that these people in Konstantinovka are waiting for Russians to come. And that's what will happen. And Konstantinovka, by the way, on Donetsk direction, not far away from Bakhmut, and veterans of our channel, of course, know that Konstantinovka-Slavyansk defense line is the last defense line in that sector of the front until the Dnieper River. And it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time when Russian forces will begin large-scale offensive operations. And of course, one of the main directions definitely will be Konstantinovka and Slavyansk. And now let's continue with some other news. Well, let me give you some panoramic view of this area. Entire street is devoted for pedestrians. No transport is allowed here, which is nice. And from foreign ministry, by the way, this street is right next to foreign ministry. And if you start your walk from foreign ministry, then this road, Stary Arbat, will, and if you will cross entire road, you will end up on Gogol Boulevard on the other side. So maybe this information will be useful when you will visit Moscow. I'm quite sure this area of central Moscow is must go destination for majority of tourists. And yes, let's talk about some other news. And well, Middle East and escalation between Israel and Palestine. Israeli armed forces did made a statement that they are increasing their scale of their ground operations in the Gaza Strip. And they are encountering quite fierce resistance from local armed groups, mainly Al-Qassam brigades, which is a military wing of Hamas. Also, by the way, Israeli militaries did acknowledge that it's them that conducted a strike on a refugee camp in. Let me read it, by the way. I don't want to be mistaken. Jabalia, refugee camp in Jabalia. I did share videos of aftermath of that strike on my Telegram, and according to latest news, entire neighborhood, by the way, was basically destroyed. And according to Health Ministry and Interior Ministry of Palestine, More than 100 people died as a result, civilians died as a result of this strike, and hundreds of people are injured. Yet another tragedy of this escalation. And well, I did saw some videos, by the way, on some Telegram channels when official representative of IDF was talking to journalists, and he was saying that they did give a warning to people in Jabalia to flee, and if they did not, then it's their own responsibility that they did come under fire, not Israelis. Very strange way to try to avoid responsibility. I mean, this is definitely inadequate attitude. But well, that's official position of IDF. Also, by the way, before I continue with the news, let me show you this wall on one of the buildings. Probably many of you did recognize this portrait straight away. It's Marshal of Soviet Union, hero of Second World War, Zhukov. Well, as I said in the beginning, it's great when memory is preserved in many different ways for next generations. But anyway, let's continue. I was forced to cut video, by the way, a few minutes ago because some music was sounding, and it still sounds not far away from here. Hopefully it will not become a reason to cut this video again. YouTube has some strange rules, and whenever some music is in video, it may generate some issues. But anyway, let's continue. And next news is about statements of head of U.S. State Department once again, because he did repeat words of many of his colleagues, and he said that U.S. is not in support at this point of a ceasefire between Israel and Palestine. I personally will probably never understand this type of attitude, especially when you know that vast majority of casualties are civilians. But well, when it comes to US ruling elites, they don't care about civilians, man. They did prove it many times. And at this point, I don't think anybody is surprised by their bloodthirsty behavior and attitude. And also quite interesting news. Yemeni Houthi rebels, by the way, did conducted yesterday yet another missile and drone strike in direction of Israel. And according to official statements of Houthi army, they launched the biggest missile and drone strike in direction of Israel since the escalation. Although all of these missiles and drones were probably shut down or for technical reasons did not reach Israel, because there is no reports from Israeli side that any area of state was targeted. Some of the missiles or drones failed in Jordan, and some videos are circulating on internet with fragments, with some unrecognizable fragments of some weapon systems, and many are commenting that this is probably Houthi drones. Maybe, but there is no way I can confirm or deny this information. That's up to military experts, I guess. And well, because of this strike, attempted strike from Yemen, Israel did make statement to send its warship in direction of Yemen, Yemen. And I have to turn off video again because of music, and I will continue in a few minutes. So we left Stariarbat, and we are moving now towards monument of Gogol, yet another world famous Russian writer and thinker, and the Gogol Boulevard. Quite a few times I did make video from this area for Patreon. I guess our community on main channel will also hopefully find this video interesting. But anyway, let's continue with the news. And yes, Israeli Defense Ministry made decision to send a warship in direction of Yemen, and I guess in coming days, maybe even today, some retaliatory strikes will be conducted against Houthi rebels or Houthi army. And it's quite possible that US will probably also participate in this strike, because Defense Secretary of US Lloyd Austin did commented on latest increased number of strikes on US military assets in Middle East, and he said that additional measures will be taken by Pentagon. What that means is anybody's guess, but I think probably US will also conduct strikes against military units in Iraq and Syria that are attacking those US bases. Some of those military groups probably are in close connection with Iran, some of them not, but at least at this point, no official in the US is openly threatening, at least from Pentagon, by the way, at least from Pentagon or White House, that are openly threatening Iran. Although some senators and congressmen in US, they have like Lindsey Graham, I mean, they are dreaming, I guess, about day when US will begin strikes on Iran. But White House and Pentagon, at least for this moment, is reluctant to come up with extremely strong statements. And dear friends, I forgot to show you this monument of Gogol. Sun is shining, so I'm not quite sure if you can see it, but well. And now we are heading towards this nice boulevard on the name of Gogol. And yes, this video is already too long, I guess, and I will share with you a few more informations, and I will end this update now. Probably it will take, I don't know, at least 2 hours to do some light montage and upload this video. So, well, Bolivia, by the way, this is very important. Bolivia did make decision to cut diplomatic ties with Israel, and this was stated by deputy head of Bolivia's foreign ministry. Unprecedented step from this Latin American state. And I guess strongest possible message that can be sent to Israel and the many other states in Latin America, by the way, are also acting quite actively to show all their position, and they are basically calling for Israel to immediate ceasefire, to begin negotiations. And even though no other country went that far to cut diplomatic ties, but I guess ambassadors will be recalled from many Latin American countries, the ambassadors in Israel. So they will reduce diplomatic relationships quite significantly. Very interesting development. Also, by the way, Interior Ministry of US, name is different, but by functionality it's Interior Ministry of US. Head of Ministry of Internal Security of US, it made statement that after escalation in Middle East, anti-Semitism is rising in US, and more and more instances of violence on ground of ethnic or religion hatred, which is very unfortunate. People should always remember that what they are criticizing when it comes to Israeli government's policies, they cannot act very same way. And almost entire world is now criticizing Israel for collective responsibility that they did use towards Palestinians, and collective punishment, which is of course wrong. And for very same reason that it's wrong, and why it's wrong, nobody can act against Jewish people, because then how you are any better than Netanyahu? Tell me, isn't it? No one is responsible of crimes of Netanyahu's government other than people that are committing those crimes. It's very simple. It's very simple, and it's unfortunate that anti-Semitism is rising, and not just in US, I'm afraid. And this is very sad, really, that in 21st century, many humans, many representatives of human civilization, still acting on these disgraceful principles of collective punishment, and on basis of hatred towards some ethnic, religious, or racist groups. It's never should happen. It's not gonna be this. It don't have to be this way. It's just too wrong, man. And also, by the way, I will share with you just a news or two, and I will end this update. So, by the way, Russian State Duma is preparing law to ban use of cryptocurrencies inside the Russia for ordinary citizens. So I guess companies will be able to use cryptocurrencies, but not ordinary citizens. This is just a draft at this point, as I understand, but some MPs, Russian MPs, are working in this direction. I don't really understand why, but that's the information that is interesting. Let's see what will be final draft when it comes to cryptocurrency in Russia. And also, by the way, Russia is planning to increase its oil exports in next in this month, by the way. It's already November. And according to some experts, Russia will increase oil exports up to 200,000 barrels a day. And this is due to increase in prices on crude oil. And I guess Moscow is acting in according to previous agreements with the OPEC countries, and this move of Moscow probably have been discussed with OPEC. And also, by the way, quite interesting news that from St. Petersburg, flights will be conducted, direct flights from St. Petersburg to Tbilisi and Kutaisi. In this month, in November, flights will begin to Tbilisi from Pulkovo airport of St. Petersburg, and in 2 weeks time, direct flights will be conducted from Pulkovo to Kutaisi. Also, Kutaisi is the second largest city in Georgia. And well, what can I say? It's nice to see that relationships between the countries are improving quite steadily, and hopefully sometime in the near future, Tbilisi and Moscow will find the ways to further improve relationships. And dear friends, I guess I have to end this update now. It's already too long. And well, let me show you surroundings. You can see Cathedral of Christ the Savior, one of the tallest and biggest Orthodox churches, cathedrals in the world. And well, before I end this video, I will ask you to consider clicking that like button if you find this update interesting, and also please leave some commentary about any topic you like, just about anything. Let's fight back YouTube's algorithm. More likes and comments probably have some influence on algorithm, and well, for very same reason, if you can, please share links to my channel or videos with your friends on any of the platforms that you are active on. And in the end, if you think this project with several channels on YouTube, Rumble, and Telegram is interesting, useful, and deserves to exist, please consider to support with small donations through PayPal, buy me coffee, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. This is it for now. Have a great day and take care.